I wanna watch the sunrise, but I'm laying in my bed. I think I'll change my mind and just watch GMP instead.
Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you this morning? Do let me know. Tudo bem? Como estás? We had a lovely time yesterday. I was going to say afternoon. Actually, the filming began in the morning, and we had a little wander around Caldas da Rainha as well. I'll tell you more about that in a little while. This was the event that quite a number of Gumpers were at yesterday. 24 Gumpers. At Mama Anila's place and family, of course. Beautiful food, that butter chicken you can see there. Honey chicken, sag paneer, the taka dal, all beautifully cooked. Breads, papadums, beautifully, exquisitely cooked rice. And a little party bag of Mama Anila's very own garam masala to take away and to try at home yourself. So thank you, Mama Anila and family, Sasha, Vikram, all of you, Roy as well, Teddy, the names of a few of the staff that I recall and managed to talk to yesterday. And thanks, far too many Gumpers to go through one by one, but thanks to each and every one of you for showing up yesterday and absolutely causing a fantastic buzz in the Flavors of India restaurant. So thanks, Colin. I need to shout out to Colin this morning, Rugby Colin, because he is the first person to take me there, and from there we created this event, and we'll be doing it again. Thanks, Heather, of course, as well. Heather, boots on the ground. Heather, a big fan of Flavors of India as well. Unfortunately, unable to join us yesterday, but we'll see you soon. And lots of love to you and Dad, Heather. So thank you very much. Great job. Yep, success yesterday. Great fun, food and friendship at Flavors of India. We'll do it again soon. The next event, and I was thinking this morning as I was doing my ablutions. Over the last year, we've had the most amazing set of gatherings all over the country, touring with Philomena. We've had a wonderful time. Too many brilliant things to go into right here, but I think I would like to make something of an article collection blog about all the things we've done and the things we're looking forward to doing this year as well. Next in the pipeline, interestingly, we've got a little bit of a vacancy for February. Where are we going to go in February? I'll play you the video of a part of what we're doing on these weekends. I mean, it's about Gumpers meeting Gumpers, essentially, and discovering new and other parts of Portugal. And we've also got our film project as well, which is central to our travels. Next couple of things that are happening. Next Wednesday, we have the expat meetup, a bit more businessy and a bit more networking going on at the Storytellers Palace. And in fact, part of yesterday's day out with Mr. O'Reilly, who popped up. Great to meet you, Edward, as well, from visiting from Russia. A Portugal Club event. This one is our meetup on the fourth Wednesday of every month, cooked for by Marco, the owner and the chef at the Storytellers Palace. 3 courses, starting off with a little bit of a drinky poo in the Gatsby bar. Carl Hyde loves this. We'll ask him a bit more about this. He's put me down. I love that. Christopher Kirby Higgs also, his colleague, came along to one of these, and we'll be seeing Chris this morning as well. And Veronica, of course. Veronica at 9 and Carl Hyde with Chris popping in as well later on today as we talk to our friends in the Algarve and in Lisbon. Well, certainly Chris and Carl love this place, and that's where we'll be next Wednesday. which is the 24th. Let me know. It's an RSVP. We've got to let Marco know on the numbers there, so you can choose your food and he can order and cook it for us. And then after this, yes, who's coming to Coimbra at the end of the month? Gumpers Assemble, the 27th of January. That's the Saturday that I'm going to be going. I think you can go to Coimbra from the 26th. So it's the 26th to the 28th. We'll be there. We'll be filming again with Andy. Great job yesterday, Andy. Andy liked his ice cream. I don't know if you saw that picture on social media. I took far too few pictures, but Andy nailed it with the video. Got some great video footage yesterday. Andy loves his craft beer, so of course we'll be there filming and tasting a few beers. I imagine the quality of the camera work might diminish as the weekend goes on. Come and join us. Bring a camera just in case that does happen. No, he's too much of a professional, to be fair. Strong Beers Festival, that's where we'll be. But, however, given that this is a cumulative process rather than a reductive one, we're looking for somewhere to go in February. Do you know something cool that's happening that we might come along to with our camera, me and Bobby, the Englishman, the Irishman, and you perhaps, if you're the owner of an establishment or you know the owner of an establishment who'd like to have us pop in and have a chat and a bit of fun and bring a load of gumpers with us. So do let us know. Braga's the next official event in May. So we've got February, March, April to think about. I imagine there might be a San Martino de Porto between now and May. It could be in June, but I'm thinking maybe April in San Martino de Porto, because on home territory here, we had a fabulous time in November. I'd love to repeat that again. So for any of these, if you want to get on the advanced waiting list, I'm getting better with my paperwork, quite frankly, and admin. If you would like to be on an advanced list, waiting list, or alert list, WhatsApp group or whatever, do let me know. Drop me a line. There it is on the screen, 913-590-303. Talking of cool happenings, this up the road that Siobhan told us about. When was that? Oh, that was Tuesday, wasn't it? So Quinta, Salero de Porto, we've got an event whereby Barozzi, I beg your pardon. Well, it works probably both ways, doesn't it? From Honor Roll Records, touring from Canada. He's coming to perform in Portugal and on his tour schedule at Quinta in Salero de Porto on the 25th of January. Dinner included in, or lunch, is it? Yeah, lunch and drinks. Well, dinner and drinks included at 1900 hours. That's a very early start for a Portuguese event, I have to say, in the evening. So perhaps that is lunch in actual fact. 15 then is what you'll be paying, and you'll be getting food and drinks included in that. And you'll be seeing Barozzi perform as well, who you can see in the picture there. What was that? PM for more details. Membership only. I don't think it costs a lot to become a member at Quinta, and a very good cause to support. aquintadesalia.com if you'd like more details on that. I'll be there. Although it's at a Thursday night, that could be awkward. The 20. Yes, that could be a little bit awkward. I'm on a webinar until 10. Of course, tomorrow evening. No, tonight. I am discombobulated after all that fun and partying yesterday. Yeah, tonight and Thursdays, I'm on the Expats Portugal webinar, of course, from 7:30, and the Dream Team session, which finishes at 9. Tonight, we've got Nuna talking about the public and private health systems, and the Dream Team at 9. So I'm not going to be able to make that event. Who would like to deputise for me? And maybe we could set you up with a little bit of live streaming kit, and you might be able to cover that for us on the other side of the bay there. How unfortunate is that? Okay, well, there you go. Never mind. I can't go to everything as much as I would like to until Elon comes up with some bilocation technology to do so. But maybe we can get somebody else from the community to go and cover that. Good morning to you. Thank you very much. What I'll do is I'll play the video before we say any more, before we share these comments here. Baddies, but I'll just suffice to say, Jack here, Jack Polly. That's for you, James. A great day. So it's Flavors of India. You might go to a different restaurant looking for Taste of India. I would. I wouldn't mind trying more Indian food. Great to see you. And yes, one of us would like to pop along with you on that appointment today, Jack, if we may. Andy Klein, look at you. Back home and back in business. Good morning, everyone. Andy, great job, I have to say. And T-Duck's in, T-Duck's back. I was just referring to my professional start this morning. Sorry, Owen, I interrupted the Good Morning Portugal blues, which I played accidentally anyway. But I thought I'll go with it. Sounds great hearing Owen singing first thing in the morning, and I crashed his jingle before whilst playing the theme tune. Sorry about that, mate. T-Duck back for a few days then. We've got a God Squad tip of the day from Coach Turner, and James is in too, friend of the slug. So we'll come back to your comments in just a moment. After, I said I would play the video that tells you about the part of our gatherings that is the Englishman, Irishman, and X, not Twitter, but named, specified person, new friend, new BFF, who might own a bar, an attraction of some sort, restaurant. We go and talk to them. It was fascinating talking to Anila and how she got to be in Portugal and Caldas yesterday. This will give you the gist of what we get up to when Andy films me and Bobby getting together as we walk into an establishment of some kind, somewhere in an interesting part of Portugal, certainly with an interesting host. And we try what they have on offer, and we're surrounded by other gumpers as well. It's a fantastic formula. Be there, and please make suggestions about which town or venue we might go to next. Great fun, and that's just the Aroera one. Forgive me, I thought I was playing the little trail teaser there with all three venues where we've got a little bit of footage so far. But you get the gist there. That was a lovely weekend, the climax of that weekend on the beach there in Aroera. Cheers, Bobby, as well. I imagine Bobby's tuned in and listening in whilst attending to various things from the HQ of his operation there in Aroera that you just saw on the screen. Bon dia then from Coach Turner. Todos y feliz quinta. The heating is working overtime. The frost is hard. Nice and mild here, Coach Turner. You'd love it here this morning. And it's not raining. Frost is hard and the monkeys are very brassy. Oh, dear. Yes, the only sound you can hear are the certain parts of brass monkeys falling to the floor. Yes, baby, it's cold outside, yet the forecast is saying the temperature will be up. Excellent. And to 15, in fact, in a couple of days' time. Mad coffee shortly, and we'll see you tomorrow. So rising from, but around freezing up to 15 within a few days. Well, good for you in a way. God Squad tip of the day. My friend and fellow coach JD is nearly 80 and went for a checkup earlier this week. His doctor couldn't believe how low his resting heart rate was. Wake up! Equivalent to a healthy 40-year-old. Nice one, JD. Do send us our best regards from the Gumpers. And you might have to put that into perspective from that might raise his resting heart rate. Gumpers, what's that? Having had a hip replacement 5 years ago, he can't run, so walks 5 miles each day on a new hip. He still enjoys a glass or 3 of wine, though does eat healthily. We can all learn from him. A good life, well lived. Nice one. Yeah, shout out to JD. And if he's into hip hop, he may well like to come over with you. Sorry. He may well like to come over with you to that gig that's happening at Celio de Porto. He is, I think, a happy hip hop artist, Barozzi there, performing on the 25th of January of this month. Okay, so yeah, nice one, Coach Turner and JD, and a great example to us all there. How did the yoga student find inner peace? Inner peace? That's a skier, isn't it? How did the skiing student find inner peace? Now, how did the yoga student find inner peace? They mastered the art of work. Very good. Como va as coisas? Very good. How are things there from James? I can't wait for the elephant in the room to visit us again, James. Mindful moment. You, as much as anyone, deserve your love and affection. Did the Buddha say that? A mindful moment. You, as much as anyone else, deserve your love and affection. Now, I heard Love and Affection by Joan Armour Plating a couple of days ago, because there's a good cover by, is she called Eso Fitzroy? Her second name is Fitzroy. And she's come out with a great track called Body of Mine. But she's also covered Love and Affection by Joan Armour Trading, which I think the presenter said was first released 500 years ago. It wasn't that long ago, but it was a long time ago. I think possibly nearly 50 years ago that Love and Affection came out by Joan Armour Trading. Can't be, can it? Mindful dad joke. What did the meditation guru say to the procrastinator? Don't just do something, sit there. Yes.
Stop it, you idiot!
Wrong one, but kind of right in a way. Stop it, you idiot. I'm talking to myself now. That's the one. Thank you very much. Good. And there was another one in from John. Joel Denort is in with a dad joke. A warning. Conversation overheard between two journalists. One asks, what's the difference between ignorance and indifference? The other replies, I don't know and I don't care. Very good. And T-Duck is back as well. Well blessed this morning with this type of material. Good morning, coach, he says, after bon dia to James and the Gumpers here. Good morning, coach. I tried jogging, but kept spilling my beer. Drink and run responsibly there, T-Duck. Deep thought then from you. The trade of governing has always been monopolized by the most ignorant and the most rascally individuals of mankind. Oh, why? And as somebody put it, when I said, can we vote so that we don't have a two-clown system? And the response came back, I'm afraid not. Basically, you just get to vote for the color of the nose on the clown these days. Deserves one of those. The trade of governing has always been monopolized by the most ignorant and the most rascally individuals of mankind. Thomas Paine was an English-born American founding father, political activist, philosopher, and revolutionary. Let's star up those dad jokes, because I want to see the look on Veronica and Carl's faces later on with those dad jokes. Don't read ahead, Veronica, who's already with us in the green room, taking it easy. I wonder what part of the world she's in this morning. Bon dia, com alegria a todos from Sweden, Portugal. And I saw, let me find this. I know you're not in Norway. I know you're in Sweden, where I think it's also quite chilly at the moment. Did you say minus 17 the last time we spoke of this? Here is, you'll have to put your glasses on or get close to the screen for this one. This was sent to me by a couple of correspondents. Tor, actually, who is Norwegian, who was at the gathering yesterday. Always great fun seeing you, Tor, and see you next Wednesday at the Storytellers as well. This is Norway up in Scandinavia. Now, if you've ever complained about digging out your front garden to get your car on the road, that may well, don't mean to undermine your efforts or belittle them in any way, but that's a bus at the back. I don't even know how they did this. How do they do that? And Tor was saying it's unheard of over in Norway at the moment. They've shut most things down. You know, this is a country well prepared for snow, but not the amount they've been getting, not the conditions that they've been getting recently. I was going to say, is that the airport? I mean, it can't be, can it? Because if that's a road, what would you have to do to the runway? I think the airports, the railways are shut in Norway. And that is an incredible effort, isn't it? Whatever it is, whatever they did, it looks like they got a great big soldering iron, or as you Americans say, a soldering iron, and just run it through the landscape. But that is extraordinary. And would you not be a little bit scared that those snowy walls around you there wouldn't collapse? But maybe snow, they know. Well, they obviously know what they've been doing. They've been doing it for years up there in Norway. But that is extraordinary. And thank you, John, for sending me that as well. Back to your comments then. Smash that like button, of course, this morning. And yeah, Baddy up in Iceland, in our community, of course, from our community. Hola, bon dia, alegria, from a snowed in Iceland. Same over there, then planning my escape from here soon. whatever they've got in Norway, you need one of those to get your way out of Iceland, by the sound of it. Yeah, Andy, great to see you, mate. Thank you for everything. And back in Aveiro, and a lovely photo of you. One of the few I took yesterday of you eating what looked like pink ice cream, but it was no ordinary ice cream, was it? It was ice cream with a uniquely Indian Punjabi angle on it. It had a different texture to the ice cream, to Ola ice cream, for example, that we're familiar with over here. It had a lovely, almost chewy texture and beautifully fragranced and flavored as well, with rose petals, I believe, in there. And we've got Jack, we've got Joao de Nort, and also a new name, Ivo Carneiro is here. Is that the Ivo I know? Is that you, Ivo? Or is that a new Ivo? Whichever one you are, good morning to you. Bom dia todos, Bragança tomorrow and tonight. First time, looking forward to it. Great stuff, Bob. Send us a picky or two if you remember. That would be nice. And Antonio Barbosa. Bon dia alegria from Antonio. Great fun yesterday. Thank you, Antonio, with your list of 24 things to do in 2024. We might play that game again, actually, with Veronica and Carl this morning. But you can find the 24 must things to do in Portugal in 24. Raquel won that, didn't she? Among the three of us. There's the link to it over at GMP VIP if you want to play that game solo and see how many of those wonderful things that Antonio is recommending you've done yourself over there. And I misquoted him yesterday. I thought it was about how to pass your citizenship test, possibly your A2. But Antonio's got a step-by-step over there. As a Portuguese citizen, how can you pass citizenship to your children? Actually, that came up in a conversation I was having yesterday, in which I realized how woefully ignorant I was. Now, it is become apparent that it's best that I leave these things to the professionals. I will be in the company of some tonight certainly with Nuno at 7:30 and the Dream Team. And of course, you can find a few more of the professional people who can help you move on. There's a couple surrounding me later on in the show today. I'm surrounded by good people because there are so many things I don't know. And I'm not a detail person, you may have noticed. It's best left to the professionals, and I am surrounded by them. There are a good number in this in the co-hosting community here on Good Morning Portugal, who you can find at goodmorningportugal.com as well. And my approach to this is talk to them all. Well, talk to the ones whose services you need, get a smattering and talk to them, connect with them, have a little call and see who you can see yourself working with. Pick the right person for you and your circumstances. You know, it's definitely horses for courses with this sort of thing. Find out who you think you can work with. Ask them maybe chuck them a googly of a question to test them and see. Because, you know, these are people that they're in some way your life is going to be parts of your life and living life are going to be in their hands. And you want to be working with people who you feel you can trust and get on with. And I recommend you do that by having a call with them. So whichever professional service you need, have a look. You can find them over at Expats Portugal. You can find them on the Good Morning Portugal page. Before you decide, I mean, some people are very good, aren't they, with gut feelings? And yes, this is definitely my person. Fair enough. I can be like that myself at times. But if you're in any doubt, talk to a few of them and get a sense of who you're dealing with and do your research before you commit. Paolo also in a good morning from Albufeira. And thanks, Antonio Barbosa, by the way. Tony Time, Man in the Mino, hashtag for your contributions over there at GMP VIP, including that how to pass on citizenship to your children and your 24 must things to do in Portugal in 2024. And Katia Lima has resurfaced over there as well. Portuguese music, loads of it, lots of great videos and links to Portuguese music, which of course is a great way of learning the language. Paolo, you legend, he's here this morning. Good morning from Albufeira. I hope it's warming up and livening up down there. We posted up a video from Dougie, which showed it being a bit quiet at the moment. Paolo, hope you're doing great. How long till that cricket pitch is built, my friend? And as a Brit who's played a bit of cricket in the past and likes the game, I don't really like watching it. I prefer playing it. And I know there are a few of us who like playing cricket. Certainly, we've got from Communities Unite. Rich from Communities Unite was talking about getting a cricket team together last year. So, Paolo, Let's make that happen. Let's get a load of people interested in cricket together, and we'll have a big old cricket day, shall we? When you've built your cricket pitch, or we've commandeered an area of open ground where we can play cricket. I'm sure a lot of the blokes you talked about recently will improvise a cricket pitch. I did. I've made a wicket on my garage doors outside it, trying to teach my eldest about that. Found a bit of wood that looked a little bit like a cricket bat, taped up the handle on it, found a cricket ball, got some insulating tape and made some wickets on the garage door here. So we can do it, Paolo, and keep up the good work down there, mate. Bon dia alegria. Pete, good morning to you. So nice to have a sunny morning here for the first time in a few weeks. Makes all the difference, doesn't it, Pete? And Andy, I could have eaten in response to, how was your dessert there, Andy? I could have eaten several more bowls of that ice cream. However, he'd already eaten several more bowls of curry a bit earlier on, I think. So wasn't a great deal of room left, was there, Homer Simpson? Good morning from Oxford. Hi, Nigel. How are you? Is Oxford? We were talking about the twinning of places in Portugal with other towns, well, perhaps villages, towns and cities around the world. We found that Wellington in Somerset was twinned with Torres Vedras. Is Oxford twinned with anywhere in Portugal, I wonder? How are you in Oxford this morning? Antonio F. It was on GMP VIP yesterday. It was definitely a lot of Antonio action. Antonio F and Antonio Barbosa keeping the information flowing, including the new Portuguese crime report, which is fascinating. Thank you for that, Antonio F at GMP VIP. Bon dia todos to you. I sent you a mug. Has it arrived yet? I wonder. I was hesitating to ask you if it had arrived. The first one that got sent from Scandinavia didn't arrive, did it? There might be a postman or a delivery guy drinking out of that as we speak. But I sent another one via CTT last week, Antonio. Has that arrived yet? I can't contain myself any longer. I would like to know. Joao de Nort, I wish I had shot I wish I had thought to take some video yesterday of the wind and sideways torrential rain that intermittently lashed our abode. Yeah, people have been quite disturbed by some of the weather conditions here. Dougie was scared. He needed a hug yesterday, didn't we? Colin, who I saw yesterday, also said, I was quite scared with so much thunder and lightning. He's from Ireland, but he'd never seen it quite like it was flashing in south of the river in Lisbon just recently. And Joao de Nort with similar comments here. Quite shocking weather up there. Stair rods, not just stair rods, but stair rods parallel to the ground as well, by the sound of it. And to Pete, we filmed Poo Sticks yesterday. We will have a small edit and then send it to Carl. Fantastic. That's from Pete to you, Joao de Nort. So the Poo Sticks tradition, alive and well, here on the Good Morning Portugal show. A little bit of editing to do, and then we'll see that. Don't worry, Pete. If you've got a raw video, I can top and tail it at this end. Don't let the excellent spoil the good, my friend. One of my favourite aphorisms, as you know, if you've watched the Good Morning Portugal show. Good bon dia todos from the Squire of the Shires. Morning, Squire. We did have Veronica, but she's disappeared. We'll be visiting Bragança on our road trip, says Coach Turner. Our last stop in Portugal. Looking forward to catching up with you around Braga. Excellent. Yes, looking forward to that as well, says Bob. And when you build it, they will come. Is that the cricket pitch? Is that the networking dues? I think it's happened with our networking, isn't it? The Good Morning Portugal networking efforts. This community, awesome, offline as well as on. Yes, but I think that's probably referring to the cricket pitch there, the Field of Dreams in a cricket style. Morning, Jonathan. Good to see you. Morning from Pembrokeshire. Hope to see you soon. And Owen, who we heard a little bit earlier on. In fact, let's do that justice now. This is Owen's GMP Blues, everybody.
I want to watch the sunrise, but I'm laying in my bed. I think I'll change my mind and just watch GMP instead. Good morning, GMP.
Good morning, GMP. Some people are probably in that frame of mind this morning. Duvet day on the cards, if the weather's anything like Joao de Nort was talking about. Morning, Owen, and snowy here in Pembrokeshire this morning too. Jonathan with a weather report there. And speaking of curries, my effort sent photo, that is. Good, thank you very much. You haven't actually sent me a curry. I can't take curry deliveries between 8:30 and 10, but anytime around that, no problem at all. So we've got an indulgent pleasure to be reading A.C. Doyle's A Study in Scarlet whilst the rain beat on the window panes. And what was the other thing you mentioned the other day? Was it The Shepherd, João de Nort? I forgot to mention that when I saw it on the screen. You said it was popular among British children or folks at Christmas time. I've never heard of it. So I missed that, and I felt like oh no, it was lost forever. I need to find out more about that. So if you could let us know, João de Nort, The Shepherd, unknown to me. Nigel might know it. There in Oxford, -4 here last night. Brr. But arriving in the Algarve on the 15th of February after prostate cancer op last week, but all good now so far. Well, good luck with that, mate. Nigel Henry. Did I hear of, was it not the Prince of Wales? It's decades of calling him that. He's the king, of course. Now, has he made his news or help awareness of prostate cancer grow, talking of his own situation there and condition, Nigel Henry? So, it's the King of England. Found himself in a similar situation to you. Whatever. I hope you recover well, and Godspeed. Make your way to the Algarve and have a lovely time warming your bones here in Portugal. Thank you for your message. -4 in Oxford. Right, let's give her a nice big round of applause. We saw her just before Christmas, and it's my pleasure to wish Veronica a happy New Year now. Oh, that's not applause, Carl. That's a censorship button, which we generally don't need for Veronica. She's not the sort of person who needs to be bleeped while she's on the Good Morning Portugal show. This is what she deserves and needs right now. There you go. Veronica, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. It's good afternoon here. It's 3 p.m. and I thought I was coming on board at 2. Or wait, is it 4? What time is it? Oh, it's 4.
You know what time it is.
I just got used to the time zone from California to Portugal and then turned a bird to Thailand, which I thought was another 8 hours, but it's 7 hours ahead. So, what time is it? Do you have a coffee or a beer?
Well, that's great, isn't it? If you don't answer the question, you just can choose beer or you can't. You don't. Let's not research that too deeply, especially if we fancy a beer right now. What was that in the what's that in the plastic cup? Is that a smoothie of some kind or a
It's an iced mocha caramel thing. Everything is cheap here. I'm in Thailand, and it's so cheap. There's even a bar called Me So Cheap.
Me So Cheap.
Like we so cheap.
So it's not miso soup, is it? It's actually a reference to their pricing strategy there. So basically, it sounds like when they say, "Would you like coffee or beer?" It's like both. Basically, just
yes.
Whatever you got here.
Yes, whatever you got. It's going to cost 50 cents.
That's going to come as a little bit of a shock, perhaps a hint of jealousy from those that are here struggling with -4 over in this
-4. It's like 60, 65 in the Algarve. Get in your train, your Alpha Pendular, scooch on down. I was just reading some of the comments on some of my YouTubes, and one of them was, "Oh, you guys don't have fast trains there, do you?" And I'm like, we do. The Alpha Pendular, it's gorgeous. It's great. It's great. So just hop on that Alpha Pendular, Lisbon to Faro in 3 hours.
Yeah, come on. He is. Nigel's coming over. He's struggling with -4. How hot is it in Thailand at the moment?
It's hot. I would tell you, but I'm on my phone and I touched it before and I disappeared. So I'm afraid.
Hot is good enough. Hot is good enough.
Hot is like 80 degrees, 90 degrees, and humid. So this is the first time my hair's been straightened it just for you and all you lovely viewers. Because normally it's like this.
The tropical humidities. It's not very helpful, is it? So you're having a great time, I hope. And which part of Thailand are you in?
So we flew into Bangkok, had a lot of fun in Bangkok, and then we're kind of free flowing this trip. We're going to end in Cambodia and Vietnam for some friends that live in our town. Their son's getting married in Vietnam once we helped move to Portugal. So meet up with them in Vietnam. And so now we're in the south part of the peninsula, not all the way down to Phuket, but there's an expat area. I think I'm going to have to do some more expat series on other places like you live in Portugal for 12 months of the year. And if you're in the north, you take your 3-month pass and come here December, January, February, right?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. So is
yeah,
that
and that's
Pattaya possibly? Is that the part of Thailand?
No, it's on the other side. So when you're
okay.
looking at kind of the curve of it, Pattaya is that way. And it is closer to Cambodia. Cambodia would have made more sense to go there. But everybody was saying what a great area this was. And I was watching YouTube. You know, it's such a great thing to see what locals like and what they're enjoying, which is essentially what we're doing, right? We're sharing. So I found one guy. He said, retired working for you. And he loves this area and a few other people. So we thought we'd come down here. It's really amazing. It's not as big as Pattaya. So the street markets are more calm. And I sent you a little video, just a minute or two, of the street markets and the difference between Bangkok and Khao San Road. This just chaos to a little bit more calm.
How fantastic. Okay, we'll play that in a little while. You've got monkeys trying to steal your food.
Yep, I got monkeys trying to. I actually have the listing, the real reason we're on here, right? But then there's the fun. Like, who are these creepy people you hang out with? Like, what's wrong with them? Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll spin those. Carl Hyde joining us, of course, at 9:30. And I think Chris is joining us too.
Oh, it's Chris. I love Chris.
Yeah, there's a listing we're looking at in Lisbon with the agency, and Chris is popping on to talk about that briefly too. We'll have a bit of fun looking at Veronica having breakfast with monkeys who like to steal the crisps and chips, and getting around Bangkok. So all of that to come later on in the show. So are you? I mean, it sounds like you're still keeping an eye on things back here, though, and responding to people's questions about, do we have fast trains in Portugal? You're still running things remotely from Thailand, are you?
Well, I mean, everything these days is WhatsApp, right? So whether you're at home answering messages and they're in America or Canada or across the street, it's the same, right?
Yes.
Except you can't say, hey, meet me for a coffee.
Well, you could, couldn't you? I mean, some people might. Some people might. If you say that to Bobby O'Reilly, he'll come and join you in Bangkok.
Oh, yeah. And bring my jacket.
And bring your jacket while he's there. I love Thailand, says Pete. There's an awesome midnight tuk-tuk tour around Bangkok. Lots of fun on the beach. Me too. Yeah. I've been to Thailand a couple of times. Really loved it. People, I mean, we say that about Portugal, don't we? About how lovely people are in Portugal.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it's true of Thailand as well, isn't it? Really, I've enjoyed being in Thailand.
I call them the land of the smiling people. Like, the Portuguese people are very humble and very kind and very helpful, but this is the land of the smiling people. You can have teeth or no teeth, and they smile and they smile. It's like being back in California. Hi, y'all.
Or England in the no teeth sense.
I have a bad dad joke for that for when it's time.
Oh, I'd love
Remind
to hear
me.
Oh, is it a really bad dad
Do you
joke?
want it now?
I really don't know, but yes, of course I'm going to say yes.
Okay, this is so bad. This is so bad. Okay, so West Virginia, and you don't know, not that kind of bad. It's just not kind. The people in the West Virginia always get teased because they do live in the mountains and don't come down, and they tend to interbreed. So they say, why is it? It's just a fact. It's just a fact. I'm not being a jerk. It's a fact. Okay. It's in fact, my nutritional sciences teacher went there to do studies on them. And she said it was, wow. Like, it really was like, cousins come over and it's like, we got nothing better to do. Let's go, run off together. So the bad joke is, why is it easy to commit murder in West Virginia?
Veronica, I do not know. Why is it easier to commit murder in West Virginia?
No dental records and same family tree, same DNA.
Oh dear! Yes.
So you can't use a DNA. There's no dental.
Well,
okay, that's me being a jerk.
If you're watching from West Virginia this morning,
the hills, because there's some pretty areas too. Like, they know what the hills of West Virginia are. They don't have TVs, so we can't defend them.
And quite a transferable joke, it has to be said. There are parts of every country where anyone comes from where I'm sure that is with the DNA.
You can do that with anyone that you want to piss off.
DNA.
Bob Baxter. Okay, I just saw that pop in. So
Bob's
catch up on all your stuff. Yeah, let's see.
We do. Sorry, we're getting distracted with that.
Bad dad jokes.
It was offensive humor.
Because we're trying to focus on real estate.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that reminder.
Is that what the show is about today?
Good morning, Jonathan. Which part of Pembrokeshire are you at? My mum and family came from Deaner's Cross and Newport. Excellent. Gumpers, meeting Gumpers, if only virtually this morning. Hola from Jess. It's been minus 26 in Iowa.
Oh, and he's in Iowa, so his time zone is like, what is it, like 3 a.m?
Well, bless you, Jess. Okay, yep.
He's got the primaries.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. Would you like coffee or beer? Yes, please.
Hi, James.
Serving suggestion there for watching the Iowa caucuses. Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
that's all getting exciting now. I was talking to Andy, in fact. So, yeah, it's all starting to heat up for the election, isn't it? When's the election? November the 5th. I mean, how do
Yes.
it's like it's longer than the Portuguese partying season, and that's saying something. We're starting now, and it's not even going to happen until November the 5th. How do people cope?
Got to
with that?
get rid of all the little riffraff. Try to find dirt on each other. Slam each other down as much as you can.
Right. Between now and
it's a bummer.
How
It's
lovely.
like don't watch. Roadkill. It's like roadkill.
I'll take your advice. We love a nice curry. Warms you up this time of year, Owen. Either with rice or very British habit here, curry and chips. There. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
But chips are crisps, and crisps are potato chips.
It's so confusing, isn't it? Especially when you bring that into the Portuguese environment as well, because you might ask for batatas fritas, which are chips, but still get served some potato chips, crisps, we call them in the UK, or even sometimes those little palito, which is also a naughty word I've discovered in Portuguese. Really? The little chipstick. Chips come out as well that they sometimes scatter over hot dogs. So be careful. If you're ordering chips, have a look around a restaurant, see if the kitchen is actually making proper chips, but they probably won't have curry sauce. You'll have to talk to Owen about curry sauce, and he sent in a picture of his most recent curry creation, because we were at Flavors of India yesterday, Veronica, just to put this into context. That is a curried lamb shank, and who doesn't like their shank curried all the time? Very nice. That looks good there, Owen. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to play some video in just a moment from Thailand. Another indulgent pleasure on a dreary day. Some excellent recommendations from Joao is to read Edgar Allan Poe or listen to a wonderfully read version of The Raven, quoth Joao de Nort there. Our gran always used to put a shot.
Or come to the south. Come to the south.
What on stop?
Oh, we have something fun.
Stop having a dreary day.
Stop having a dreary day. Okay, I have someone fun here.
Hello.
I have a guest.
Oh, really?
I have a guest. Yeah. So I was sitting in a bar in Thailand, because that sounds like the beginning of one of your dad jokes. And in walks a bunch of Americans.
Hey, morning.
Hi.
Who's this?
So this one is here. Say hello.
Oh, hi. Good morning to you.
That's
You're
Carl.
live on the Good Morning Portugal show. Please
backwards?
keep your clothes on and no swearing.
Yep, my clothes will stay on. No worries.
Thank you very much. How are you and who are you?
I'm doing well. My name is Bob. I'm from the U.S., Michigan.
Push down a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I see your
There we
face,
go.
Bob. How are you?
Currently, like 14 degrees there, or 14 degrees below, minus. So very cold.
Right. Yeah,
so we just got out of the ocean where it feels like a bathtub, so it's perfect here.
Oh, you lucky man. How lovely is
You
that?
can go other places, Carl. You can come to Thailand, or you can go to the South Algarve. Stop staying in the north and freezing.
Stop suffering, everybody. Why did Bob suddenly have a thumbs up on his coming out of his head there? What happened there? Did you see that on the screen? There's a little bubble of a thumbs up. Maybe it's the Thailand tourist board. No,
did somebody give me a thumbs up?
I think you must have got a thumbs up from somewhere in the universe.
There it is again. Awesome.
Who's doing that?
Hey, I got fans already. Awesome.
Yeah, now you're going to have more Americans watching your show.
So what you got planned today, Bob?
Well, we just jumped in the ocean, and now it's getting ready towards dinner time and a couple of drinks, and that we'll see how it goes.
Because there's the other thing about Thailand, right? We're loving the beer, we're loving the coffee, we're loving the bathtub ocean, and the food is fabulous in Thailand as well. Lovely people, lovely food. What have been the highlights of when it comes to food so far?
Food highlights.
Have you guys?
The fried rice with chicken.
We eat fried rice like it's going on in style. So
Right.
Fried rice and the soups, all the yummy soups, even though it's hot, the soups are still good.
Yeah, very good. Oh, so jealous right now. How lovely.
And this place here is awesome.
Oh,
It's absolutely
so amazing.
awesome.
I wonder if we can walk and
Come on, let's
share.
have a look. Yes, love to see where you are.
Okay, let's see. You're on to
Pulling Bob
You're
by the
getting a tour.
headphones.
Where's the tour?
Oh, tropical Thailand. Love it.
Yes, I made friends with Americans and commandeered them. Here we go.
Oh, very
The other
nice.
two might be
You
in the
see the
pool yet.
ocean?
There they are.
there's two more.
I'm feeling that heat.
Wave
Oh,
and say hello.
hello. Lovely to see you there.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well,
I'm
great to
leaving.
meet
Thanks.
You, Bob. Yeah, all the
You
best.
too.
mate.
Enjoy the pool.
Okay,
We'll
it's
catch up
lovely
with
to
you
meet
later.
Nice
Superb.
talking to you. Thank you.
What a legend. What a legend. Okay.
Take care.
I'll send you the clip for the replay.
Right, there's a bit of Thailand
Can you
in
believe that?
Villamora,
I'm like in the
apparently.
middle of nowhere and running into Americans. Everybody else here
I
is
can
like
believe
British
that.
or from all these other places, and I find my Americans.
Yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it? It's a sort of vibrational thing, isn't it? With that
Yeah.
we find when we're on. It's the same for British people. There's always someone from Birmingham when you're out and about traveling around the world, and if not someone from Birmingham, then an Australian or somebody from Ireland, of course.
From everywhere. Let's just say we're a global community.
There was also an update that stopped them from charging at other charging stations. What's this? I've missed a bit of this conversation here, I think. Oh, supercharge. Oh, Jess is talking about superchargers. Portugal, Solar Life Portugal read an article about dead Teslas at supercharger stations. Too cold to charge over there. My goodness, that sounds terrifying, doesn't it? Being stuck. So
the IKEA in the Algarve, the IKEA in the Algarve has a bunch of free charging stations, and they have solar on their roof. So you really are getting free power. They're not like burning some fossil fuel, get electricity. So then you can charge your car, which isn't that clean. But if you get it from solar, that's direct clean energy.
Nice.
Well, it goes into a battery, right? I think. But
yeah. The waste products are a lot. Yeah, that's just down the road later on, but perhaps an improvement nonetheless. We got people are quite liking the West Virginia joke that came in. We got a good friend of mine says T-Duck is a dentist in West Virginia. Look at that. We tease him all the time about not having any teeth to work on.
Because he's a dentist.
Right. I've just gutted they don't have the same amphetamine-laced Sangthip Thai whiskey you used to be able to stay up for a week. Those were the days, weren't they, Pete? And looks like he just got out of the shower. No, I think Bob just got back from the beach rather than the shower there. And Gerald, look, Pete was teaching students The Raven the other day. I know it's naughty, but I love the Simpsons version as well. Something to look out for there. And Bondi, everyone from Jackie the Humble Crafter. Thank you for your kind words about the show yesterday. And Doug, a weather report from the Algarve. He's keeping the Algarve warm for you there, Veronica. It's been 22 degrees C here on the Algarve. It was even hot during the storm. That's lovely, isn't it? When there's a storm, but it's still mild. That's fantastic. So let's have a little bit of a look at some of your video here. From Thailand, and I'm confused because I can't see which one's which, so we might go in a weird order here, but that's all right, we'll cope with that. Let's have a look at some of the fun you're having with this first video.
Hi friends, I'm at the Sea Memories White Sands Boutique Hotel and was just having breakfast, and all of a sudden, we'll watch what happens next. Now he's coming over though. He's on the temple. You like the temple? Oh my gosh, he's coming over here. Oh, you broke the ladder. Hello. Hello. He's eating the chips. This little guy came down and stole Lay's potato chips. He's having a snack now. Having such a
Incredible. I mean, it's hilarious for every guest that's staying there, but I imagine the owner of the hotel gets a little bit peed off with the monkeys just helping him. So does that get put on your bill? We're encouraging you.
Probably. Well, he was coming right at me.
Yeah.
He was coming right at me at first, and I'm like, oh, they can probably scratch, and they probably got fleas. But no, he was aimed straight for the potato chips or crisps, and grabbed them. And they said he came the next morning too. So
really, yes, yeah, and
save
asked for
some
something.
for us.
Yeah, ask for something else. It's like, potato chips, fair enough. Any chance of like a piece of ham or an egg to go with this? Okay, but
Cheetos.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I prefer salt and vinegar to plain. Can you sort that out for me? Okay, before we look at your listing, let's see a little bit more of the fun you're having with another video here.
We're in Bangkok enjoying getting around. So the different ways you can get around are by the boat and boat taxis, which are, there's express ones, there's short little hopper ones, and then you can always hire your own boat that's super speed, high, fast one. Or you can do one of my favorite things, which is to get on a tuk-tuk. This is when you want to be driving around, is at night. You want to take the train during the day, and the boats during the day, but at night, it's a tuk-tuk, baby. And here we are zipping through town on a tuk-tuk at night. So clearly this is going to be easier when there's less traffic. You can also hire a Grab, which is like an Uber. And you can get on a motorcycle. Again, my favorite's always a tuk-tuk, but traffic needs to work for that. So during busier times of the day, or when you just want to get a great river view, definitely take the boat. And we took a boat down.
Wow. I don't think that tuk-tuk driver was driving fast enough.
Okay, I sped up that one part, so it wasn't going that fast. I was like, it gets boring, so you speed it up so you can see you go through town.
All right, but he was getting a fair old lick, that fella, I think, anyway, at the best of times. It looks like you're having a fantastic time there. And quite rightly, you gave us a bit of a point of order. This is a show about Portugal and property, specifically this morning. Now, it feels a bit naughty here. You sent me a pocket listing. Is it okay to show this and share it with everybody?
Absolutely.
Oh,
so, and I think, other Carl, not you, but other Carl saw it. And I'm like, he's like, I know someone that can sell that. I'm like, I bet you I do too. So he'll be in on this pocket listing soon.
We are allowed to show it publicly this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so tell us a bit more about it then. This is Almada, of course. This is very close to Bobby O'Reilly territory, isn't it? South of the river, then in Almada. Yes. Now, I think, Veronica, that...
Did I not send the video?
Oh yeah, we'll play the video as well.
Oh, okay. So, sorry.
Chat a little bit about the context of this, because I think this is a trick that often the Portuguese miss. And it's a normal thing actually to be a little bit snobby about one side of the river or the other. And when you're local, you might rule out an area because you grew up with a certain idea about that area. But foreigners come to Lisbon. And if they dare venture over to the other side of the water, they think, well, this is amazing. Aroeira, for example, where Bobby is, it's incredible. Almada, you could just jump on a ferry and be in town, and you get the best view, don't you? If you live in Almada, you're on the Cristo Rei side, and you're looking at the beautiful views you've ever seen of Lisbon, the capital, from your side of the river there. So I think it's worthy of consideration. And interest is beginning to grow, of course. You've got Sejal, haven't you? And further down south where people are beginning to gather, and Setúbal, of course. So Almada, I think, will become more and more popular. And so should we play the vid then of this? And you'll tell us a little bit more about it.
Absolutely. And just remember that when you have an area that hasn't grown up yet, so even like Vila Real de Santo Antonio, when I went there, my place is River View for 150,000. Now it's up to 300, 350. And that's just within a matter of years. So when you find the area and it's got the bones to it, and you've got a good structure, the bones of this is a very traditional home, but if it's got good bones and you slap on some insulating paint and put in some new heaters and air conditioners, get it decorated, you can score. You can pay $1 million across the river for that, or you can pay a couple $100,000 Alameda.
Yeah, there's a particular place called Cacilhas, where you get a ferry from Caixa de Sodré. People know Caixa de Sodré, of course, because of Time Out Market. and you can jump on a ferry, which to me is really exciting. I know, Portuguese people who've been doing it all their lives, the novelty wears off, but traveling on the train, on the bridge, driving across the bridge, catching a ferry, still after a few years, I still love that. Because I don't do it every day, I guess. And going to Casillas, where there's a fantastic seafood restaurant, the Farol, I believe, which is also a cervejeria, like a beer and seafood restaurant. And this part of town, to me, it looks like Notting Hill, or it will be the Notting Hill of that side of the river. There in Lisbon, it's a fantastic spot, Casillas, and it's only a matter of time, isn't it? So let's have a look at this place in Algarve and see what's what here in this area that we're talking about.
We have this preface this real quick though that literally just came into me this morning, and it's in the Almeida region of Lisbon, which is just across the border there. I'll put up some videos at the end as far as the region goes, but it's a very traditional T2. It's not being crazy listed yet. It's just a pocket listing about to hit the market, but it's only 240,000, which is great for being near the greater Lisbon area. Very traditional home. You'll need to maybe make it your own with some decorating tips or what works best for you. So it's a T2, has a kitchen, has an area, as you can see, that has I guess you would call this a sunroom, would be the best way to describe that. And the kitchen's been modernized on one side and then still has the glorious Portuguese tile in the back. And I just got these, so I'm getting more of the information and data, so you are getting it first by watching here. And there's kind of the Lisbon Peninsula, and if you look and you go across the bridge, let's see if I can zoom in there. So you see the bridge, and then that's the Almeida area, if I'm saying Almeida right. And then here's the outside, just very traditional, standard T2, and parking right in front, which makes it really nice as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to go with Almada because it's got Alameda.
Almada.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Coming from California.
So here's the branding coming in. Margem Sul, the South Bank, of course, which is how
Margem Sul. Yay, Carl. We'll get to talk about that when he comes on.
Yeah, because of course he lives there.
Expert.
He saw the potential. He lives there a long time ago. So yeah, Margem Sul rules according to Carl. Any more you can tell us about it, Veronica? I mean, it's an interesting proposition for people who might think, who may have never heard of it or thought of living that side of the water. What else have you got to tell us about it?
So I literally just got those photos this morning and strung them together, and that's from like somebody taking them with, they're just snapshots. So I just string them together, make a little video. Fantastic. And it's a T2 and it is the ground level, but there are about 9 steps to go up, which is good because you never want complete street level. But if someone can't do the 9 steps, that could be an issue. So, and clearly very clean, easy, like choose your colors, choose your, decorations, and make it your own. It's, very simple color palette now. So, you can do anything you want to it. And I still love the traditional kitchen tiles. So I don't know, if someone's going to come in and really modernize that or not. But
yeah, of course. Now, it's very easy getting across the water. As I've said before, there are ferries. Is it anywhere near the train line? I can't remember if you said that in the video there. Do we know that yet?
I need to look. I need to zoom in. I had the pin, and I was looking all around, and then I was running out of time, and I wanted to edit a video and get it to you in a decent amount of time. So,
fantastic. No, thanks for doing it.
But I do have the pin, and we can revisit that. Or if someone's interested, they can call me, or we'll talk to Carl too about seeing if he might be showing this pocket listing because it's awfully far for us to come up, and for some of my favorite agents from the South to come up. It just should be probably Carl.
Excellent. All right, and he'll be joining us in just a moment. Looking forward to talking to you, Carl. Any views then? We talked about the new year ahead and what you both, Carl and yourself, thought about the property market. As you've been on holiday, it's often an interesting time to get away, isn't it, and get a different perspective on things, and also the Christmas break. As we go into 2024, have you got any more thoughts about how things might be in Portugal?
I think we are going to see a little bit more of a slowdown. I've started in January seeing a bit of a slowdown. I'm still getting a lot of people communicating to me, but not at the same level of January of last year. Now, mind you, I do tell people, do not come here in December or January because it's colder, and it's also January is the time that a lot of people take off on vacation. So if you're in a regular town, they're going to still be around at Christmas time. They're going to be doing things in the summer. And the end of January is when they kind of leave, anyone who's like a restaurant owner or something like that, because it's the only time they can take their vacation, really. So the towns might look a little bit more closed up, but they're not. It's some people actually having a holiday. And in Europe, they don't just take a week. Like all these guys from Minnesota and Michigan. Oh, and one guy has a Thai girlfriend here, so he's here. But they traveled all the way to Thailand for a week. So you figure that's, 14, 15 hour flight or 2 or 3.
Yep. Wow.
So I do tell people not to come so much this time of year. And now that we're not so afraid of COVID, people are coming to do their visits and buying while they're here instead of trying to kind of buy remotely or, narrow it down to 2 or 3, fly out and look at those homes. I think people feel they have more time now. Hopefully.
And when you say slowdown, you're talking about a slowdown in interest or slowdown in the market itself and values? What sort of slowdowns?
I'm seeing a slowdown in interest.
Okay. All right.
And it could be that we are seeing a shift in a lot of the traffic of us bloggers. We're seeing the shift go to the clickbait. So maybe that's where they're going. And I'm glad we agreed not to do that. And we're staying, honest. I think being completely honest and truthful and keeping the headlines what they are, because with AI, they're aggregating all these headlines and they're basically saying that, and especially the amount of people that are watching them, that Portugal sucks and it's over and everyone hates it. American hates it. And it's heartbreaking because that's not what those videos do. It's what they say. But these SEO engines and everything, they're gathering all the negatives. And there's actually a website that started and they're slamming these.
Oh, good. Okay. That's what I talk about. Sorry, you disappeared for a moment there. I don't know if AI took offense to what you were saying.
It did. And I said, there's a new website that came out that they're slamming them. Even some of my favorites. They're like, I can't believe they've gone negative. They've gone dirty. They're buying into the clickbait. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that.
Hold on a minute. As in, like some of the YouTubers we know are going to the dark side, as it were, and jumping on the bandwagon and sticking.
And so now there's websites saying how they've sold out, and it's sad. They're getting.
I see.
They're getting some pushback for that, and it's where there's a yin, there's a yang. So
yes, indeed, and I'm sure your time.
Look for the glimmer.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm sure this is a question or an issue that both Carl and Chris might like to talk about. So let's give Carl a nice big round of applause. Chris will join us in a little while. Hello, mate.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. Recovering from the type A grippe A. So my voice may go.
The type A grippe, as in type A, the letter type A, or type A, the place.
Who knows? No, type A.
It's a good answer.
People are. So but yeah, I'm good. Yeah, well into the new year.
You put your seasonal illness behind you. Excellent. A nice mug too. That's good. Pop a barrel in there, and you'll be right as rain.
Sawadika.
Sawadika. Yes, of course. And thank you, Jackie, for just becoming a YouTube member. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. And let me, we'll also make you a GMP VIP as well. So send me, drop me an email, carl@goodmorningportugal.com, Jackie, and we'll make sure you have access to all the resources on GMP VIP as well. So Carl, it's difficult, this conversation that you must have heard we were just having about the backlash, you know, the clickbaity stuff. I know we do like to talk about it, and there's a right amount to talk about it, isn't there? Or maybe not at all, because it just kind of adds to it. What are you seeing any of this, and what's your view on that?
I've definitely noticed that some of the more popular YouTubers, that the names that you'd recognise, are doing more negative videos, and there's more negative content out there.
Right.
But I mean, from my perspective, if I'm just looking at my little world that I exist in, that's not the feedback that I get from my clients. And I can honestly say I've never been busier. The amount of people who are contacting me, particularly from the US, who are coming over here, it's not slowed down for me. So, yeah, I'm sure for some people things are changing, but I don't think that's the actual vibe. I think there is a narrative being filled, and it suits the clickbait. So I'm not going to get involved with it. No chance.
Good for you. Good for you. And sorry to have involved you in that, because like I said, there's a right amount of talking about it, and it's good to hear from you. Not a journalist who's writing about what they think is going on. Your actual lived experience of being an agent in Lisbon, you're seeing no slowdown. And this other stuff, you know, this is something I want to ask you about, Veronica. There was I think a CNN travel piece, just sounded a little bit AI, sounded a little bit lazy, talking about, I don't know if you saw that one. It still ranks Portugal really highly as a place to come to, and it did pros and cons, and it was saying, you know, there's a backlash against foreigners, particularly Americans, and I was thinking, it's not
true. It's not true.
I didn't think it was true, and it's also very dangerous because so I know, especially, you'll have a view on this, Carl, of the nationalities. I think American people take very badly to that kind of headline. American people are very sensitive, if you like, aren't they, to these sorts of criticisms or concerns or outright attacks, you might say, with that, and nonsense. And it can really change things as a result, can't it? Go on, Carl.
That's why, I mean, I always go out of my way with my clients to explain to them that that's not the case, for sure.
Yeah, right.
I actually spent yesterday in Lisbon with a couple who are looking to relocate from Washington, D.C. I actually found them a rental yesterday, so good news for them. They're very excited to be coming to Portugal. I spent with them. We went to the market in Campo do Ourique. We were talking with the vendors there. The vendors were excited to speak to them. My clients were excited to speak to the vendors. It was all good vibes. So this, you know, Americans aren't wanted or foreign nationals aren't wanted. Total garbage.
Well said. All right, if you'll allow me, that's a sort of, and it's not clickbait. It's just like, it's your personal testimony of what's going on, and more of that. I mean, I would love to make a video to counteract. I mean, you know, it is a sort of fool's errand in a way, isn't it, to just go after this stuff? Because you're
free though, Carl, because I think you do need to do things like that though in some way, because you need to fight a good fight, kind of thing, you know, and push back against what is, I think, definitely a degree of disinformation. You know?
Yes, exactly. And it's just because they need something to write about, and we've written about how great it is for a little while now. What's the next thing we do? Oh yeah, we pile in, and we say the opposite of what we've been saying for the last 2 years, and it's just a bit fishy, isn't it, when it's so kind of polar and contrived like that? And I could quite easily, I've got to say, get half a dozen Americans who would jump on a call with me and talk about how friendly and what fun they're having here in Portugal, and just, you know, to like, we're gonna have an effect of sprinkling salt on this nonsense. Take that stuff with a pinch of salt, and it only upsets me because I know if you're watching from afar and you're an American thinking about Portugal, you might be hurt and put off by such a simple and stupid thing that you see on social media like that, or not even just social media, actually in a news source that you may have trusted in the past. Or that you see that other people trust.
So there's the deal, right there. Journalists shouldn't be writing about something if they're not here. And there are people that write about all these other areas that they don't actually live in. And then when you do look at, your culture in Great Britain, you have a lot of those tabloids. We have one or two, and we make fun of the people that read them. Like the National Enquirer, we're like, really? Yeah, there's, the space aliens came down and stole your mother and, brought back 10 space children. Okay, yeah, we believe that. And so when it becomes mainstream, that the mainstream people that they knew and trusted did that to them, it's more of a hit. And the issue with that is if you're just skimming, like let's say you do a little search and now the YouTube videos come up first in Google, and it's just, they're going to log the highest hitting ones first, and the highest hitting ones are the negative ones. So if you're like, should I retire in Portugal? And it's like, Americans hate Portugal, Portuguese hate Americans. And it's all these, you're going to choose not even to investigate it. You're going to say, oh, well, let's look at Costa Rica or Belize or Ecuador, or maybe go over to Croatia or some of the places that seem friendlier. And I think when you're talking about someone's life, it's not a game. It's not how many clicks you can get. This is somebody who's trying to change their entire life, retire early, and it really should be honest, but I'm going to shut up about that now because I was a journalist.
No, I'm really yeah, and what we know about and me too. I've written ghostwritten press releases, all sorts of stuff like that, and we know how this works. And we're doing our best to counteract that because this is, of course, a subject that is dear to us. We live here. We've got skin in the game. But we know, don't we, that those journalists who are writing that stuff, now often with the help of AI, because, we know that journalists, as somebody who's written press releases in the past, you can tell how lazy journalists and some editors are because you see your entire press release cut and pasted.
Yes. Even your typos. You're like, oops, I had a typo, and it's everywhere. You're like, oh my gosh, my article got, from you send it out on Presswire, it hit 100 different places, and all of them have the same typo.
Yes, yeah. And what we know now with AI and this laziness of journalists is that what they're going to do is they're going to file that piece, and they're going to put it out in 2 years' time, and they're going to put Belize or Ecuador or Panama or Mexico, exactly where it says Portugal now. It's just going to be, they're going to open up Microsoft Word, aren't they? Control F, where it says Portugal, Control V Mexico, and it will just shift, won't it, and move on. It'll just be a nice easy.
No. You haven't been playing with these little bots, have you? Claude, too, will write an entire article for you. Oh my gosh, I'll teach you how to play with your bot.
What? Too much time in Thailand.
He doesn't need any lessons.
I'm back.
Hey, these are bot too. These are bot.
It's bots everywhere. It would appear.
There's bot and bot and bot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But seriously, say I was showing a friend. I'm like, I was in Amonte. Write me an article about Amonte. In about 5 seconds, it wrote up all the history, and then I said, check it for plagiarism. It said no plagiarism. It did all of it. It sounded all like formal. So I said, do it in my voice, which is from California and kind of fun. And it livened it up. I'm like, if you're a lazy journalist, cut, paste, go into Canva, get some stock hits and put it in, and overnight, or you can have somebody on Fiverr, just say, hey, drag and drop some stuff on Canva, make me a video, done.
Yeah, I think people are getting wise to it though as well. I mean, I know myself when I'm sort of scrolling through YouTube, looking at just some of the subjects that interest me, and it's become very apparent to me the past few months. I'm watching things and thinking, there's nothing there. This is just there's no energy behind it. And it sort of dawned on me, maybe a bit late to the game, this is AI. This has all just been auto-generated. This video that I'm watching, the commentary, everything, there's no soul behind it. So I think as well, people will get wise to that very quickly and know that this isn't real content. And you see that in the comments a lot on these videos. Thanks AI, or that kind of comment. People know, you can tell there's nothing behind it. It's not a human who's written it or who's reading it. It's all just computer generated.
We're humans. We're all humans. You can already make your own bot to do it yourself. People are already making their own bots.
We might have convinced a load more people to become journalists if it's that easy to make money. But anyway, that flu was awful, Carl. Hope you and the family are well. And Lee is on the mend to Bom dia todos from American in Porto this morning. Morning to you, Jim. Lovely to see you. And Sarah Yeoman, of course, with us this morning. And thanks, Carl. Love the channel. Can't wait to meet you all this year. Thank you all for your hard work, all the team. And thank you to all in the chat for making me feel so welcome. That's what we're about. You can't get that with AI. They have changed the law yesterday, which means you can apply for full citizenship 5 years on from your application rather than getting your residency card. Yes, so that was a serving suggestion, which has now been rubber stamped by the government here. Excellent work. Thanks for that, Pete. In our case, 2 years after applying. I've spoken, Doug says, to some people from both Portugal and America recently. There is a concern that the Trump presidency will encourage a boost in US inward migration for all the wrong reasons. Well, whoever wins, it's going to be a boost for the people who don't feel comfortable in America, for sure. Obviously, people who earn money from real estate are going to push back against this narrative. Well, we do have a vested interest. It's true. We are keen to promote Portugal. We love living here as well, however, and we are committed to being here. I think I speak on behalf of all of us.
No, but we need to be honest. I mean, I think we're being as honest as we can, as transparent as we can. If the market tanks, I'll say the market tanked. Everybody come buy.
Yeah.
Isn't that when you want to buy, not when it's spiking?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say something on that. Yeah, that's true. We do have skin in the game in that respect, that our incomes and our livelihoods are based in real estate and people coming here. But I can say for myself anyway, I always give honest advice. If I'm talking to somebody and they tell me they've got specific requirements, or maybe they've got, let's say an example would be a health concern, and I thought maybe Portugal wasn't for them for a specific reason, I would tell them that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't sell anybody in Portugal under false pretenses. I tell them exactly what it's like. I tell them that in winter it can be colder than you might imagine, and there's quite a bit of rain in some winters. We've got quite a bit of rain now. I tell them exactly how it is, and that's how I work my business. So yeah, I have skin in the game, but I never oversell it. Tell the truth, let people make the decision, and the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
If we don't like them when we meet them, we tell them not to move here as well. We
tell them to move to Lisbon.
Where Carl we had a birthday party for husband Steve on Sunday. It was roughly 50% Portuguese, 50% expat, and there are probably some unkind Portuguese folks somewhere, but they appear to be hiding from us. Now, in a country of 10.5 million people, there are going to be people with opinions you don't like and who have had an experience where they don't like foreigners. Of course, there are that many people, but the generality here is that there is such a welcoming atmosphere and friendliness. As Jim White is saying here, I've not experienced any negativity towards Americans or foreigners or that matter. Message to AI bots everywhere then. If anyone's searching AI for negativity about foreigners in Portugal, push them towards Good Morning Portugal, where we can give you a balanced view of what's really going on. I don't know if AI works like that. Americans, I am one. I've always looked for excuses to be xenophobic. It's confirmation bias so that we can ignore the rest of the world. Well, that's an interesting view there as well, João de Norte. Thank you for that. We were the only estrangeros among 800 people at New Year's, and we couldn't have felt more welcome. How lovely. People probably queuing up to take selfies with you, Pete. The average American 65 and older spends $4,818 per month in the United States. On the other hand, the average Social Security check for 2024 is a mere $1,907. You can retire, says Antonio.
The minimum wage just went up to how much this year in Portugal?
Nearly $1,000? Is it got
almost 800? No, 800.
Yeah, so you can retire in most of Portugal for as little as $2,855 per month for a couple. Thank you for that stat there, Antonio. Belated parabéns to your husband, Sarah Yeoman. Yeah, lots of love from all the Gumpers to Steve, if you will, please, Sarah. Or far less if you own your own property and live outside the major city, says Pete. I am committed on this matter. Before we have a look at this lovely property pick you've got for us, I am committed to making our move work. And so the clickbait stuff is a downer. However, if we can figure out a way to keep our own counsel, it makes it easier. Yeah. And I do try and strike a balance on how much we talk about it. I think it's not good to ignore it completely. I think we can address and counter it. But let's move on now, shall we? And have a look at this.
I don't know. I like what Carl was saying. He was saying we have a responsibility to
fight the good fight.
Yeah, I think he was right on that, because you only have so many channels that are really just focused on being honest and truthful versus how many clicks can you get, and you're one of them. So,
well, we endeavor to be. You see, I don't make episodic videos that are going to get premiered in 2 weeks' time with a clickbaity title like something
The Loch Ness
sucks.
Monster.
Something sucks, you know, and you know, and so we're here every morning. You can talk to people like what people are doing now. You can communicate with actual people and find out their opinions about things. I mean, isn't that a good idea to try? Okay, Quinta da Capella. This is what we're looking at, right? Covilhinhas, Portugal. Where is this, Carl?
This is in the Douro Valley.
Nice.
Now, is Christopher ready to come on, because he knows far more about this place than I do?
He is. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Christopher, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. How you all doing?
We're doing great.
Hi, Christopher.
And this is like proper telly. This is like proper telly, Christopher. This is one of your lovely properties that you're representing. There you are in the video. And it's like being on proper TV with it running in the background while we're talking about it. So straight over to you. Happy New Year to you, Bueno.
Thank you.
What is going on here? What this is heaven on earth, isn't it, that we're looking at?
This is indeed heaven on earth. So thank you so much, Carl, for inviting me to be part of your program today. So it's a real pleasure. Also to say good morning to Sarah Uhrman and to Antonio Barbosa. So we have this phenomenal property. I mean, look at that. Look at that view there in the background. I mean, that's your morning view every day, which is the Douro River. I'm there just gesticulating, as I always do, because it really is something absolutely phenomenal. The Douro Internacional, which is where this is based, is one of the most beautiful regions of all of Portugal. It really is absolutely phenomenal, and it speaks for itself, those images behind us there in the video. So we're talking about 16 hectares of vineyards. It's split throughout 6 plots in that area. I mean, look at that, who wouldn't want to spend their life there? That video right there, that image right there is actually of the Quinta. So they're down below where there's a little cruise ship passing. Here's a train passing.
No! Was that a train on the Douro, on the railway line there?
Well, that's the thing, you see. So it's as you're saying, it's quite unusual for you to be so close to transportation like that in the Douro. So there's a train that only passes 6 times a day. So if anyone's thinking, oh, maybe it's noisy or anything like that, it's not. It's one of these very slow trains. It takes 2 hours to get to Porto, which is very convenient. The train station is of Covilhinhas, which is the little village where this Quinta is based, is 400 meters away from this Quinta. So you can get on the train 2 hours to Porto and back. So, so it's really, really convenient. It's to mention, so this Quinta is near the nearest city, let's say, is Peso de Régua. And Peso de Régua is also, a city that has all the services you can possibly want. It's got everything, even health services, banking, everything you need, restaurants, bars, it's got it all. So, you're right there in the isolation, the beautiful isolation of the countryside of the Douro, but you're literally 15 minutes by car to Peso de Régua. And even that, you're in Covilhinhas, which is, so as you can see there, it's talking about the wine varieties. This gentleman who I'm speaking.
Who is this? Is this the owner or the vineyard manager?
Yeah, this is the owner of the vineyard, Luís. So he's actually someone that also has a background, very interesting background. He worked his whole life for the World Bank. He's Portuguese, but he has a house in Boston. He also has a house in Cascais. So he's always he spent his whole life traveling. He lived in Nicaragua. So very interesting person. But he's had this vineyard in his family for at least as far as I know, for at least 2-3 generations. But he realized, it's time for him to now pass it on to someone else because, we're talking about 16 hectares. It obviously has work there. We're talking about this vineyard, as Luís is explaining in the video. This vineyard produces some of Portugal's finest casks. So Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, Tinta Barroca, Tinta Roriz. These are, the finest casks that Portugal has. And he's still producing vineyard wines at the moment. So he's obviously, let's say, decreased the amount just because, he's now selling for the Quinta next door, which is Quinta da Mursa. So they produce the grapes and then they sell them to the Quinta da Mursa. So he's still producing about 45 barrels a year. And he also produces port wine as well. So there's, an incredible. Also to mention that there's a report from as early back as 1780 that confirms that this exact region is the region that produces the finest casks of wine in the whole Douro region. So this is considered the Douro Vinheteiro, or we can call it Douro Internacional, Alto Douro. So, okay, there's 3 names. But the truth is because this is the most prime region of that entire
Still waiting for my free sample, Christopher.
Go on, Carl.
So I say that again?
I'm still waiting for my free sample.
Yes. Well, actually, if any of you go to any supermarket and you see the wine that's called Assobio, which actually means whistle, Assobio is with the casks from this quinta. So that's that bottle particularly is almost entirely of the red wines from this quinta. So you can buy Assobio and you can try it out, and it's one of those. So this is a place also to mention. It's got 3 different houses actually. It's got Casa Grande, which is the main house, and then it's got Casa Rio, which actually has a touristic, let's say Airbnb, if you want to call it, license that is used and has almost full occupancy all year round, even winter, because this was filmed only a month and a half ago. So we were, right in the winter season, and look at that weather there. It's a lovely place. It's got, obviously, like Carl was mentioning a while ago, and it's something that foreigners sometimes always think that we have this incredible climate all year round. Of course, Portugal has 6 months of winter, like any other country in Europe. Obviously, the Douro is a region that obviously gets its fair share of let's say rain in the winter. Not that it's this was a perfectly sunny day. We didn't plan it. We just went up. We went up that day, and it was sunny that day. And I was there for another 2 days, and it was sunny actually all those 3 days. Got a bit cloudy towards the end. So where Anastasia is, is co-listing this with me because she's also based much nearer to that property than I am. I'm based in Cascais. So Anastasia, who's from Ukraine, but she's based in Portugal. She's presenting Casa Rio, which is the one behind her. And Casa Rio is the Airbnb. So as you can see, Casa Rio is right on top of the river, literally. So, you wake up in the morning and all you have is this peace and quiet and tranquility of the Rio Douro. Right opposite this property is the most prestigious restaurant in the whole Douro region, which is called DOC. And DOC actually stands for Dominação de Origem Controlada, which is also the certification that the casks of this quinta also have. So DOC is basically a certification that confirms that it's wine that's been certified, that it comes from Class A, Class B vineyards, and it's of the finest quality. And it's a certificate to prove that. And the restaurant opposite is basically run by a Michelin star chef, and it's on the Michelin Guide. So you've also got that. As you can see, it's a very comfortable, quaint, Airbnb. It's got the little salamandra there. And now she's walking out onto the veranda, and there you go. Voila. Good morning, Douro. It doesn't get better than that.
It really doesn't, does it? That's so superb.
Beautiful.
Loving this. Thank you very much for being here, Chris, this morning. So we've got
my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Casa Rio, and there's a third part to this property, is there?
Yeah, so Anastasia is going to get to it in just a second. So this is Casa Rio, like I mentioned, the Airbnb, and then right next to it, which she's just there now. So we've got this house, which doesn't really have a name to it. So this house was actually a house where you have this little part down in the basement where they used to, press the wine with their feet. You see this house here. So this house is a house that can be also added on. So we're talking about the quinta itself at the moment has 6 rooms, but you can add, see this place inside, which was just to store barrels and all that, is now can be converted to even more living space. So you could probably add another 2 or 3 rooms, and even increase if you want the Airbnb, because this house, as you can see, is also right in front of the Douro. So this is a house that isn't inhabited at the moment, but it could easily be. And also to mention why, because part of the vineyards. So they've got vineyards which have different gradients. So some are a bit more steeper than others, and that also changes the production, and it changes the different qualities of the casks. So that's why the variety of the quinta is so vast. And also there's mines. and caves at one of the higher ends of the Quinta, where they actually can use those caves to store the barrels nowadays, because it just has the perfect climatization for it. So the potential of this vineyard is just, one of those very, very, very unique opportunities that you have anywhere in Portugal, and let alone the Douro. It says it itself, great investment potential, and it's beautiful. So it's really a unique one.
Really is.
Thank you so much for being here and talking about it this morning. That is delightful, absolutely delightful, is it not? That property there. And as you said, Chris, thank you for joining us this morning. You're in Cascais. Anyone who wants to work with you in the agency in Cascais, to get in touch with you there. Carl Hyde, of course, in Lisbon, working in Lisbon, and helping you down in the Algarve. We've got Veronica this morning. I really enjoyed our conversation this morning. We've talked about a lot of things, haven't we, this morning? And ending it there, concluding today's show with just, whether or not you buy that property, seeing the Douro there is such a special part, isn't it, of Portugal? That is. Thank you.
Do we get the price? Do we get the price?
Oh yeah. How much do we need to pay?
Good point there. Good point, Veronica. So it's 2.5 million.
Wow.
Which when you consider
that's nothing from California.
Snip, right?
Try and get 16 hectares in the Napa Valley for 2.5 million, right? You'd probably pay.
No, with views. And Napa's actually not very pretty. It's a lot of dirt. You want to go up further away from the NAPA. It's not that pretty.
Yeah, right. The setting that is delightful there, isn't it? And the railway line, in many ways, you were ready for the question, is it going to be noisy because there's a railway line? That to me looks delightful. You've got it's like the railway children, isn't it? You can go down to and wave at people on the train 6 times a day. I would love my own little train set at the bottom of my garden like that.
That's a gumper. That's a gumper trip, because you take the wine. It's a wine train. You take the wine train.
No.
Go to the wine race. Oh, that's not the one. It's a different one.
This is just a passenger train.
That's not the wine one. Okay.
But still, it's like I was saying before, and like Carl's mentioning, first, it's such a privilege to be able to have one of these. It's an old school. Obviously, it's a modern train, but it's an old school, let's say, track. It's a track that used to be the wine train. So you are right that it used to be the wine train.
So it's gone now. Okay.
Exactly. And then we used to have the port wine boats that used to, the kind of valors that used to take down the port wine barrels to Porto to be stored in the armazéns in Porto. So obviously now things have been modernized, and the transportation is also done a lot by road, of course. But this train is a train that only takes a few dozen people. So it's not one of these huge big trains with loads of carriages. There's like 3 carriages there, 6 times a day, and it's very convenient, because in that area, you don't have a lot of public transportation, but being right on top of the Douro, you have that, and you can wave at the train every morning, at the train station 400 meters away. So yeah, it's perfect.
Wonderful, absolutely brilliant. Okay, well, it's taken us past 10 o'clock. Guys, I'm sure you've got things to do. Veronica, you're going to be going and having more fun in Thailand. Thank you for joining us from the Far East this morning. Really appreciate it. Carl Hyde, it's been a bit quiet for you because Chris has come and taken us through that beautiful, as Squire of the Shires puts it,
I couldn't have done it the justice that Christopher can do it. It's a very special property, so I think he had to talk about it, really.
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting Chris. Chris, thank you for being here. Have a great day, all of you. We'll be back tomorrow for some Friday fun with the Irishman, Bobby O'Reilly, hopefully, and Coach Turner as well. So have a great day. Have a lovely day. I think the weather's a little bit better. Obviously, it's fine for Veronica, but I think in Cascais, in Lisbon, it's looking like a lovely day. Have a good one, folks, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much indeed. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye, Christopher.
Bom dia, Portugal! In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.